Let me tell you about the worst job in the galaxy. No, seriously. I've smuggled contraband through asteroid fields, been chased by space pirates, and once got stuck in a black hole's event horizon for 3 hours. But nothing, and I mean nothing, prepared me for working at Ziggy's Cosmic Diner on Nebula 7. My name's Marcus, and I'm what you might call professionally overqualified for slinging hash to aliens. Used to run cargo through the Outer Rim until my business partner decided to sell me out to the Federation. Now I'm here, wearing a grease-stained apron that says, "Ask me about our quantum pancakes," in 17 different languages, most of which I can't pronounce without dislocating my jaw. The diner sits on the lower level of Nebula 7, a space station that's basically the truck stop of the galaxy. Picture a chrome and neon nightmare where the coffee tastes like motor oil and the jukebox plays Andromedan death metal at volumes that could shatter glass. The whole place smells like burnt ozone and whatever passes for bacon on Proxima Centauri. Ziggy, my boss, is a three-eyed purple-skinned alien who looks like someone crossed a toad with a tax auditor. He's got this charming habit of screaming at me in 3 different languages simultaneously, which is actually kind of impressive if you're into that sort of thing. Right now he's yelling because I apparently put the wrong shade of blue in the Neptunian pancakes. "Marcus, you idiot human," he bellows, his middle eye twitching with rage. "These pancakes are cerulean, not azure. You want to kill our customers?" I stare at the pancakes. They're blue. Really, really blue. If there's a difference between cerulean and azure, it's lost on my primitive human vision. But I nod anyway because arguing with Ziggy is like trying to teach quantum physics to a houseplant. "Sorry, boss, my bad. I'll remember that cerulean is the one that won't cause interdimensional poisoning. Don't get smart with me, dish rag." That's his pet name for me. Charming, right? The lunch rush is typical for a Tuesday. I'm serving liquid nitrogen soup to a family of ice-breathing cryonians while trying not to freeze my fingers off, taking an order from a Centaurian who communicates entirely through interpretive dance, and cleaning up after a Blobarian who apparently doesn't understand the concept of eating utensils. This is my life now. From smuggling rare minerals across hostile space to asking if you want fries with that in 47 different dialects. The universe has a twisted sense of humor. But hey, at least the tips are decent. Mostly because aliens don't understand human currency and tend to overpay. Silver lining, right? I'm wiping down table 12 when the entire diner goes dead quiet. And I mean dead quiet. The kind of silence that makes your skin crawl and your survival instincts start screaming. Even the jukebox seems to sense something's wrong and cuts off mid-song. That's when I notice everyone staring at the entrance. Oh, wonderful. Just what my Tuesday needed. Through the door walks trouble in the form of Empress Vexara, and let me tell you, she's exactly what you'd expect from someone who conquered half the known galaxy before lunch. She's tall, imposing, with skin that looks like polished obsidian, and eyes that glow with the kind of inner fire that says, "I've vaporized entire star systems, and I'll do it again." Her entourage follows behind her like a parade of nightmares. There's her personal guard, a bunch of 7-foot-tall warriors who look like they bench press small moons for fun. Her advisor, some prissy alien in robes that cost more than my annual salary, and about 12 other hangers-on who are probably there to make her look even more intimidating, which honestly seems unnecessary. The whole diner is frozen. The cryonians have stopped breathing, which for them is actually a big deal. The Blobarian has solidified into what looks like a very nervous puddle. Even Ziggy's 3 eyes are wide with terror, and that guy once told me he wasn't afraid of anything except tax season. But then something happens that makes my brain do a complete factory reset. A hover wheelchair glides through the door behind the Empress, and sitting in it is the most unlikely person I've ever seen in this cosmic freak show. She's young, maybe 16 in human years, with the same obsidian skin as the Empress, but with these bright, curious eyes that seem to take in everything at once. Her lower body is clearly affected by some kind of condition, but she's got this smile that could light up a solar system. This has to be Princess Kira, the Empress's daughter, the one nobody talks about because apparently it's considered treason to even acknowledge her existence in most sectors. "Mother," the princess says, and her voice is like music compared to the usual grunts and growls I hear all day. "This place is fascinating. Look at all the different species dining together. It's like a cultural exchange program." Empress Vexara's expression softens for exactly 1 nanosecond before snapping back to her usual, "I eat lesser beings for breakfast, look." "Yes, dear. Very educational." The princess wheels herself further into the diner, completely oblivious to the fact that everyone's treating her mother like a walking apocalypse. Oh, and look at those blue pancakes! Are they bioluminescent? Do they glow in the dark? I bet they do. I watch this exchange with growing fascination. Here's the most feared woman in the galaxy, and she's basically just a mom trying to have a nice lunch with her daughter. Who knew conquest came with a side of family bonding? That's when Ziggy, in a moment of either supreme courage or supreme stupidity, decides to approach their table. His 3 eyes are darting around like pinballs, and he's wringing his hands so hard I'm surprised he hasn't twisted them off. "Your Imperial Majesty," he stammers, "welcome to Ziggy's Cosmic Diner. We are honored, truly honored to have you grace our humble establishment." The Empress looks at him like he's something she'd scrape off her boot. "We require sustenance, your best table." Of course. Marcus, Ziggy practically shrieks. "Attend to Her Imperial Majesty immediately." And that's how I ended up with the worst table assignment in galactic history. Great. Just great. I grab my order pad and walk over to their table, which Ziggy has somehow managed to clear and sanitize in record time. The Empress sits ramrod straight, radiating the kind of authority that makes gravity itself seem nervous. Princess Kira, on the other hand, is practically bouncing in her chair with excitement, taking in every detail of the diner like she's on the most amazing field trip of her life. "Good afternoon," I say, channeling every ounce of customer service training I never actually received. "Welcome to Ziggy's Cosmic Diner, where the food is out of this world and the service is merely terrible. I'm Marcus, and I'll be your waiter today. Can I start you off with some beverages that won't kill you?" The Empress's eyes narrowed to slits. "Did you just insult my intelligence, human?" "No, ma'am. I insulted the food. Your intelligence appears to be perfectly intact, given that you've conquered half the galaxy and presumably know how to use a fork." There's a moment of silence where I'm pretty sure I'm about to become space dust. Then Princess Kira starts laughing. Not just a polite chuckle, but a full-on, genuine belly laugh that echoes through the diner. "Oh, he's funny, Mother. I like him. He talks like the characters in those human comedy programs I've been studying." The Empress looks at her daughter, then at me, then back at her daughter. "You study human comedy programs?" "Among other things, human culture is fascinating. They have this concept called dancing, where they move their bodies to musical rhythms for pure enjoyment. Not for ritual purposes or mating displays, just for the joy of it. Isn't that wonderful?" I can't help but smile. "Yeah, dancing's pretty great. Though I have to warn you, my dancing has been known to cause diplomatic incidents." "Really?" Kira leans forward, eyes sparkling. "Tell me more. What makes human dancing different from other species?" The Empress is watching this exchange with the expression of someone who's just discovered her daughter speaks fluent Klingon. "Kira, perhaps we should order first." "Oh, right. Sorry, Mother. I get excited." She turns back to me. "What would you recommend? Something authentically human?" I glance at the menu, then at the Empress, then back at Kira. "Well, the quantum pancakes are technically edible, and the neutron star coffee won't actually collapse your digestive system, but if you want authentically human, I'd go with the grilled cheese sandwich. It's simple, it's classic, and it's the one thing on this menu that won't glow in the dark." "Sounds perfect. Mother, can I have the grilled cheese sandwich?" Empress Vexara sighs. "Very well, and I'll have whatever passes for your most nutritious meal." "That would be the Andromedan salad. It's got enough vitamins to power a small starship and tastes like grass clippings from a golf course, but it won't kill you. Probably." As I'm writing down their order, Kira pipes up again. "Marcus, about that dancing thing. Could you show me? I mean, I know I can't exactly participate the traditional way, but I've always wondered what it looks like." I freeze. This is definitely not covered in any waiter training manual I've never read. Well, I mean, we don't really have music here, except for the jukebox, and it mostly plays stuff that sounds like industrial accidents. But you could show me the movements, right? Just the basic idea?" I look at the Empress, expecting her to shut this down immediately. Instead, she's watching me with those glowing eyes, and I can't quite read her expression. It's not hostile, which is probably the best I can hope for. "I suppose I could demonstrate a few basic steps," I say slowly, "though I should warn you, I'm much better at serving food than I am at recreational movement." "Oh, that would be wonderful." Kira claps her hands together. "I've read about it, but I've never actually seen it done by a human. And that's how I found myself about to give a dance demonstration to galactic royalty in the middle of a cosmic diner. This day just keeps getting weirder." I look around the diner. Every alien in the place is pretending not to stare while obviously hanging on every word. Ziggy's 3 eyes are bulging so hard they might actually pop out of his head. The Cryonians have condensed into ice sculptures of pure anxiety. This is either going to be the most embarrassing moment of my life, or the last moment of my life, depending on how the Empress reacts. "All right," I say, setting down my order pad. "Basic human dancing. Let me think of something that won't get me executed." I walk over to the ancient jukebox, which has been pumping out cosmic static for the past hour. With a few strategic kicks, I manage to coax it into playing something that resembles actual music. It's some old Earth jazz number that somehow made it all the way out here to the rim. Perfect. Okay, so human dancing is basically about moving your body in time with the music, I explained, starting with some basic steps. It's not complicated, you just let the rhythm guide you. I demonstrate a simple box step, then add some arm movements. Nothing fancy, just the kind of dancing you'd see at a high school prom or a wedding reception. Kira watches with absolute fascination, her eyes tracking every movement. "It's beautiful," she says softly. "The way you move with the music, like you're having a conversation with it." I guess that's one way to put it. I'm warming up now, the music's starting to get into my bones the way it always does. The thing about dancing is, it's not really about the steps, it's about the feeling, the connection. That's when I notice Kira's fingers are tapping against her chair's armrest, perfectly in time with the music. She's got natural rhythm, which shouldn't surprise me. Most species do, even if they express it differently. "You know," I say, an idea forming that's either brilliant or completely insane. "Dancing isn't just about legs. It's about your whole body, your arms, your shoulders, your head. The rhythm lives in all of you." I move closer to her wheelchair, and I can see the Empress tense up in my peripheral vision. "What if I showed you how dancing can work for everyone?" Kira's eyes light up like twin stars. "You mean I could dance too?" "Princess," the Empress says, her voice carrying a warning. "Perhaps we should just watch." But I'm already committed to this crazy idea. "Your Majesty, with your permission, I'd like to show the princess that dancing is about joy, not just movement." The Empress studies me for a long moment. I can practically feel her scanning my thoughts, looking for any hint of mockery or pity. Finally, she nods. "Proceed, but carefully." I turn back to Kira, whose face is radiant with excitement. "Okay, here's the thing about dancing. It's not about what you can or can't do, it's about what you feel, so let's feel the music together." I start by taking her hands, showing her how to move her arms with the rhythm. Her face transforms with wonder as she realizes she's actually dancing. Then I move behind her chair and begin to push it in time with the music, turning it into part of the choreography. "Oh," she gasps as we glide across the diner floor. "Oh, this is incredible." The wheelchair becomes our dance partner. I spin her gently, guide her in smooth circles, lift the front wheels slightly so she can feel the weightlessness. She throws her arms wide, laughing with pure joy as we move together across the floor. "I'm dancing," she shouts, her voice echoing through the diner. "Mother, look, I'm actually dancing." The music swells and we move with it. I show her how to lean into the turns, how to use her upper body to express the rhythm. She's a natural, moving with grace and joy that makes my clumsy steps look like amateur hour. The wheelchair isn't limiting her. It's just another instrument in our symphony of movement. We spin past the counter where Ziggy stands slack-jawed, his 3 eyes tracking our progress like he's watching a miracle, past the tables where every alien customer has stopped eating to watch this impossible sight, past the Empress, who sits frozen in her chair, her glowing eyes wide with something I can't quite identify. "This is the most beautiful thing I've ever done," Kira says as we glide through another turn. "I never thought I could feel this free." "That's the magic of dancing," I tell her, guiding her through a gentle dip. "It's not about your body, it's about your spirit." As the song reaches its crescendo, I spin her one final time, then bring her to a graceful stop right in front of her mother. Kira's face is flushed with exertion and joy, her hair slightly mussed, her eyes sparkling like diamonds. The diner erupts in applause. The Cryonians are actually crying frozen tears. The Blobarian has formed himself into the shape of clapping hands. Even Ziggy is cheering, though he's trying to pretend he's not. But I'm not looking at them. I'm looking at Empress Vexara, who's staring at her daughter with an expression I've never seen on her face before. It's wonder and love and something that might be the beginning of understanding. "Mother," Kira pants, reaching out to take her mother's hand. "Did you see? I danced. I actually danced." The Empress's voice is barely above a whisper. Yes, my dear, you were magnificent. And in that moment I realize I've just witnessed something that's going to change the course of galactic history. Not through conquest, or politics, or military might, but through something as simple as a dance between a washed-up smuggler and a princess who just wanted to feel the music. Sometimes the universe has a sense of humor after all. The applause dies down, and the other customers gradually return to their meals. Though I catch them stealing glances at our table, Kira is still glowing with excitement, chattering away about the dance while she waits for her grilled cheese. The Empress, however, has gone quiet in a way that makes the air feel heavy. Kira, she says finally, her voice carrying that tone every parent in the galaxy knows how to use. Perhaps you could visit the facilities and freshen up? But Mother, I want to hear more about human dancing traditions. Marcus was just about to tell me about something called the electric slide. I was not about to tell you about the electric slide, I interject quickly. That's a dark chapter in human history that we don't discuss in polite company. Kira laughs, but she can read the room. Oh, you want to talk to Marcus alone? Very well, but I expect a full report on this electric slide business when I return. As she wheels away toward the back of the diner, the Empress's entire demeanor shifts. The Imperial mask drops, and for the first time, I'm looking at a woman instead of a conqueror. She looks tired, worried, and oddly vulnerable. Sit, she commands, though it sounds more like a request. I slide into the booth across from her, suddenly very aware that I'm having a private conversation with someone who could have me vaporized with a thought. Your Majesty, if this is about the dancing, I can explain. Stop. She holds up a hand. Do you know how many planets I've conquered, Marcus? Half the galaxy? That's what the news feeds say. 47 star systems. 312 inhabited worlds. Over 1 trillion sentient beings now live under my rule. She stares at her hands, which are folded on the table. Do you know why I did it? I have a feeling this isn't a trick question, but I also have a feeling the answer isn't going to be what I expect. Because you could? Because I thought I could find a cure. Her voice is barely audible. Kira was born with a rare genetic condition that affects less than 1 in a billion of our species. The doctors told me there was no treatment, no cure, no hope. They told me to accept it and move on. She looks up at me, and I see something in her eyes that makes my chest tight. So I conquered worlds looking for better doctors, better technology, better answers. I ransacked medical databases across the galaxy. I forced entire civilizations to research her condition. I turned myself into a monster, all for the slim chance that somewhere out there was a cure for my daughter. Jesus, I breathe. I destroyed lives, Marcus. I ended governments, displaced millions, all in the name of fixing what I thought was broken. She pauses, watching through the window as Kira chats animatedly with one of the Cryonians near the restrooms. And then, I watched you dance with her for 10 minutes, and I realized I'd been the biggest fool in the galaxy. Your Majesty, I don't understand. She's not broken, the Empress says, her voice fierce with conviction. She never was. She's perfect, exactly as she is. All this time, I thought I was fighting for her, but I was really fighting against her. Against who she is, what she's capable of, the joy she finds in life despite everything. She turns back to me, and now I can see tears in those glowing eyes. You saw her, Marcus, really saw her. Not as a problem to be solved or a condition to be cured, but as a person. A beautiful, brilliant, joyful person who happens to use a wheelchair. She's pretty amazing, I agree. Because honestly, what else can you say? She is, and I almost missed it because I was too busy trying to fix something that didn't need fixing. The Empress wipes her eyes with the back of her hand, a gesture so human it catches me off guard. I've spent years conquering worlds, and you've spent 10 minutes showing me something I never understood. That's power, Marcus. Real power. She leans forward, her imperial bearing returning. I want to offer you a position. Not as a servant, not as an employee, but as Kira's cultural ambassador. Someone who can show her the galaxy the way you showed her dancing today. Someone who sees her for who she is, not what she isn't. My brain does that factory reset thing again. I'm sorry, what? Leave this place. Come with us. Help me learn how to be the mother she deserves instead of the conqueror she never asked for. Her voice is steady now, determined. I can offer you wealth, status, your own ship, a chance to explore the galaxy without looking over your shoulder for Federation bounty hunters. You know about the bounty hunters? I know everything about everyone who comes within a parsec of my daughter. But more importantly, I know you treated her with kindness when you had no reason to. That's worth more than all the star systems I've conquered. I look around the diner. At Ziggy, who's pretending not to eavesdrop while he burns a stack of pancakes. At the other customers, who are probably going to turn this into the most ridiculous story they'll ever tell. At the grease stains on my apron, and the tips jar that's never quite full enough. Then I look at Kira, who's wheeling back toward us with a smile that could power a solar system. "Would I get to learn more about the electric slide?" she asks as she approaches the table. "Absolutely not," I say automatically. "Then I accept your employment offer, whatever it is." The Empress laughs, actually laughs, and it's the most beautiful sound I've heard all day. "Welcome to the family, Marcus. I hope you're ready for the adventure of a lifetime." And you know what? For the first time in years, I actually am. 20 minutes later, I'm standing in the diner's back office, staring at my reflection in Ziggy's cracked mirror while I untie my apron for the last time. The "Ask me about our quantum pancakes" slogan looks back at me mockingly, but honestly, I'm going to miss the ugly thing. It's been my uniform through some of the worst, and apparently some of the best, days of my life. The Empress is outside settling the bill, which apparently involves transferring enough credits to buy a small moon. Kira is teaching the Cryonian family some basic human dance moves, much to their frozen delight. And me? I'm having what you might call an existential crisis in a supply closet that smells like cleaning fluid and broken dreams. "You're really doing this?" Ziggy asks from the doorway, his 3 eyes blinking in sequence like traffic lights. "Apparently." I fold the apron carefully and set it on his desk. "Try not to burn the place down while I'm gone." "Bah!" He waves a dismissive hand. "I ran this place for 50 years before you showed up, dishrag. I can do it for 50 more. There's a pause, and then he adds, "But I'll miss your terrible jokes about the food." "Any weren't jokes, Ziggy. The food really is terrible." "I know." He grins, showing off teeth that look like they could cut glass. "That's what made them funny." I'm about to respond when he suddenly gets serious. "Marcus, you know what you're doing, right? That's the Empress of the Vexthani Empire out there. She's conquered more worlds than most people have seen in their lifetime." "Yeah, I know. But she's also just a mom who loves her daughter. And honestly, after everything I've done, working for someone who's trying to be better doesn't seem like such a bad gig." Ziggy studies me with those 3 eyes, and I can practically see the wheels turning in his alien brain. "You're going to be good at this, aren't you? This cultural ambassador thing?" "I have no idea what I'm doing, Ziggy. I'm making it up as I go along." "Good. The best jobs are the ones where you figure it out as you go." He extends a hand, and I shake it, surprised by how genuinely sad I am to leave this place. "Take care of yourself, Marcus. And if you ever want to come back and complain about pancake colors, you know where to find me." "I'll keep that in mind." I walk back into the main diner, where the Empress is finishing her conversation with some kind of holographic accountant who looks like he's about to have a nervous breakdown. Apparently, tipping the entire staff a year's salary is causing some kind of computational error in the payment system. "Ready?" she asks as I approach. As ready as someone can be for a complete life change on a Tuesday afternoon. Kira wheels over to us, practically vibrating with excitement. "Marcus, you're going to love our ship. It has a cultural studies library with information from over 3,000 different worlds, and a holographic recreation deck where we can simulate different environments. And oh, the dining hall has food synthesizers that can recreate any cuisine in the galaxy. Even grilled cheese sandwiches? Especially grilled cheese sandwiches. I've already programmed in the specifications from today's meal." As we head toward the door, I turn back for one last look at Ziggy's cosmic diner. The Cryonians are still practicing their dance moves, creating small ice sculptures with each movement. The Blobarian has formed himself into the shape of a heart, apparently his way of expressing appreciation for the entertainment. Even the jukebox seems to be playing something that almost resembles actual music. "Second thoughts?" the Empress asks. "No, just taking a mental picture. This is the place where my life changed forever. Figured I should remember it." "Good philosophy." She pauses at the door. "Marcus, I want you to know that what you did today, showing Kira that dancing was possible for her, it changed more than just her life. It changed mine, too. I've been so focused on what I thought she needed that I forgot to see what she actually wanted." "What did she want?" "To be seen, to be valued, to be included." She watches her daughter, who's now teaching the Andromedan waiter some kind of intricate hand gesture sequence. To be allowed to be exactly who she is, wheelchair and all. She's pretty great at being herself. True it is, and now I get to learn how to be great at being her mother. As we walk toward the docking bay where the Imperial ship is waiting, I can't help but think about how weird life is. This morning, I was a washed-up smuggler, slinging hash to aliens and complaining about pancake colors. Tonight, I'm going to be traveling the galaxy with space royalty, learning about 3,000 different cultures, and probably eating better food than I've had in years. But the best part? I get to spend my days with Kira, whose enthusiasm for life is infectious, and whose joy in discovering new things reminds me why the galaxy is such an amazing place. And maybe, just maybe, I get to help a former conqueror learn that the best way to love someone isn't to try to fix them, but to celebrate them exactly as they are. The Imperial ship is massive, gleaming, and looks like it could probably outrun a supernova. As we board, Kira immediately starts giving me the grand tour, pointing out every detail with the excitement of someone who's about to share her favorite place in the universe with a new friend. "And this is the observation deck," she says, leading me to a window that shows the entire starfield. "Sometimes I come here to think about all the different worlds out there, all the different ways people live and love and find joy. It's beautiful." "It is, and now we get to see it together." She looks at me with those bright eyes. "Marcus, thank you. For the dancing, for seeing me, for making my mother smile. I haven't seen her really smile in years. Thank you for reminding me that the best job in the galaxy isn't about where you work or what you do. It's about who you get to do it with." As the ship pulls away from Nebula 7, I watch the diner shrink to a tiny point of light in the distance. Somewhere down there, Ziggy is probably burning another stack of pancakes and yelling at the jukebox. The Cryonians are probably still practicing their dance moves. And life is going on, weird and wonderful and completely unpredictable. But up here, in the observation deck of an Imperial starship, I'm about to begin the adventure of a lifetime, with a princess who sees magic in everything, and an empress who's learning that love isn't about conquest, it's about acceptance. Not bad for a Tuesday at the office. The galaxy's vast, full of wonders and mysteries, and probably a few more terrible diners. But for the first time in years, I'm not running from something, I'm running toward it. Toward new worlds, new cultures, new possibilities, and the chance to be part of something that actually matters. Who knows? Maybe I'll even teach Kira the electric slide eventually. On second thought, some secrets are better left buried.